You know, if you're a real car lover, there's this urge you get. It's that desire to take a car straight from the factory and turn it into something that's 100% you. It's about making something great, well, uniquely yours. And today, we're going to dive into one of the coolest ways you can pull off that exact kind of transformation.
So let me ask you a question, and be honest. When you're walking through a parking lot, does your car ever just disappear? Does it blend into that sea of other cars that all kind of look the same? It's a feeling a lot of us enthusiasts know, that little itch for a look that's just more aggressive, more you.
And that's the real challenge, isn't it? The factory look is designed for everybody, which means it's not really designed for anybody in particular. It's a compromise. They're built to be safe, to be agreeable, but they don't always scream passion, you know? They don't always reflect the personality of the person behind the wheel.
Which brings us right to our first big idea. This deep, fundamental craving for distinction. For people like us, a car is never just a way to get from point A to point B. Nope. It's a part of who we are, an extension of our identity. And that's where the standard look can sometimes feel like it's letting you down.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. We all know performance is key, but it feels like only half the story if the car's looks don't match its muscle. You want the whole package, right? You want the visual to make a promise that the engine can absolutely keep.
So, how do you get there? Well, we're about to explore a specific philosophy that's all about that total transformation. It's called the Trofeo vision, and it's a complete overhaul, all wrapped up in one single cohesive body kit. And here's what you need to get about this. This isn't just about bolting on a few random pieces and calling it a day. The Trofeo kit is a complete vision. Even the name, Trofeo, which is Italian for trophy, is meant to make you think of racing, of winning. That's the exact high-performance vibe it's trying to capture.
And this right here, this is the goal. The idea is to create a change so dramatic that your car stops being just a car and becomes a real statement piece. It's designed to scream high performance even when it's just parked on the street. Okay, so we get the big picture. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's break down the anatomy of this thing and see what individual parts come together to create such a radical new look.
The whole transformation really hinges on three key areas that totally define a car's personality. First up, you've got that front bumper. It's the first thing anyone sees. Then there's the grille, which is like the car's snarl. And finally, you have the rear bumper, finishing the look from behind. By redesigning all three of these together, the kit gives you this incredibly complete 360-degree change.
And you can really see the design philosophy at work here. Look at those sharp angles, those aggressive vents. They're not just for show. These are design cues pulled straight from the world of endurance racing. It's all about making the car look like it's slicing through the air, even when it's standing still.
Now, this is a huge deal. This slide shows a massive practical benefit: seamless integration. On the left, you see the nightmare scenario with a lot of other kits. You're stuck rewiring everything, replacing entire light systems. But the Trofeo kit, it's designed from the ground up to work with your car's existing factory headlights and taillights. That makes the installation so much simpler and honestly saves you a ton of time and money.
Of course, looking good is one thing, but you need this stuff to last, right? The materials are key. We're talking about automotive-grade polypropylene. That's the same flexible, impact-resistant stuff manufacturers use themselves. So this kit is built for the real world, for daily driving, not just for a car show. And it's all designed for a super precise fit, so you don't get any weird gaps. It just looks right.
So, okay, it looks amazing, but is that it? What else do you get out of an upgrade like this? Let's talk about the long-term benefits, because they're way more than just cosmetic.
The best way to think about this isn't as an expense, but as an investment in your passion. I mean, what's the return? It's that feeling of pride you get every single time you walk up to your car. That's a feeling you really can't put a price tag on. Okay, this chart is fascinating. It breaks down the perceived benefits. And look at that, pride of ownership takes up half the chart, 50%. That makes total sense, right? That's the emotional core of doing something like this. But what's really interesting is that elevated road presence is a strong second at 35%. People want to stand out. And the smallest piece, potential resale boost, tells you that while it's a nice thought, this is really about personal satisfaction, not making a quick buck. So as we start to wrap this up, it all comes back to this one central idea: embracing a new identity for your vehicle. It's about embracing the Trofeo spirit.
And this quote just says it all. The whole point of changing the bumpers and the grille is to completely change the experience of driving. The idea is that when your car's look finally matches its performance, just getting behind the wheel becomes an event. It becomes exhilarating.
And that brings us right back to the question every car enthusiast has to ask themselves. When you look at your car, what do you see? Is it just a tool for transportation, or is it a statement about who you are? We've just walked through one powerful way to answer that question, but at the end of the day, that choice is always yours.